11 years in the USA, 11 years away from my parents, a self-taught journey, and a dream realized. This is my story. What's up, guys? My name is Pranto. I'm a creative director based in New York. It's been 11 years in the USA, and I'm making this video to share my journey with every single people out there. A quick intro about me. I was born in Bangladesh. My parents decided to send me to India to a boarding school when I was in grade 4. I spent almost 10 years studying abroad in India. During those times, I only saw my family around like 20 to 25 days in the whole year. Time at India really taught me a lot about life. It taught me about being independent. It also made me miss my family a lot because, as I told you, I only saw them not many times in the entire year. During my early childhood, I was a shy kid. I really didn't know my passion in life, my purpose in life. But deep inside, I knew that I wanted to go abroad to do my college. So in 2012, when I was done with my high school, I told my family that, hey, look, I want to study abroad. So I applied to Canada for my undergraduate. My visa was rejected in Canada, which was a very setback to me. Year 2013, I decided to apply to the US for my bachelor's, and everything worked out. I got the visa, I was approved. So I came to the US in 2013. My first university was Western Kentucky University. That's where I got my admission in. I spent 2 semesters at Kentucky, and it made me realize a lot of things about life. I was studying international business back then, and something told me I don't want to pursue this career. So back then I really had a big interest in photography, and I remember making the call to my family like, hey, look, I feel like I might change my major to photography. And my parents were like, they made me understand that I should pursue something else because it was an investment they're making on me. But I spent 2 semesters at Kentucky, and then after that something told me to change my environment, and I felt like New York City was a place to be because in the US everyone talks about New York, and I just felt like, okay, that's my next move. So 2014 I moved to New York. I was living with my cousin's family. During the first 2 years it was very challenging. I had a culture shock. I was very depressed. I was very lonely because I remember vividly that I was going straight to school and coming back home. It was like an endless loop cycle, But luckily my cousin had a camera, like a basic D3i camera. And during those time I used to take the camera on the weekends, and I used to go out and take pictures. That became my lifeline. That gave me hope. That made me believe in myself. I opened an Instagram account, UrbanShots_, and that's where I started uploading my landscape pictures. During 2014 to 2016, very tough year for me. So I was just on the weekends going out, taking photos, sunrise, sunset, like street style pictures, uploading that on my Instagram. My account grew to around 300, 400 followers in the first 2 years, I think. So that was something, that moment right there was something I really truly enjoyed, and gave me that hope, like at least I'm good at something. Because looking back, I was a kid who was very negative about anything. I remember my first year at my college in New York. I wanted to apply for scholarship, and I was so negative that when I before entering the scholarship office, I was like, okay, you know what? I don't even deserve to enter the office because I'm not good good enough. That was my mindset back then. It was I just didn't believe in myself, and I felt like there was no one to help me. Everything was self-taught. But things changed in 2016. I got into reading books, and I read this book called The Secret, and that was really eye-opening to me. A lot of things changed that year because I got an internship, I got a scholarship, I even got a job at the college, which was amazing. During those moments, there was one time where I really felt like coming back home to Bangladesh because I just felt like the USA was not for me. I just couldn't cope up with the environment, the energy. It was very fast paced, and I made a call to my family like, hey, look, I just don't think I can stay here anymore longer. I need to come back. But my parents made me understand. They're like, hey, look, you gotta finish your undergrad, things like that. But it was very lonely, very tough. And I'm like, okay, I'll finish my undergrad, and I'll stay here. There was one time during Christmas on 2016. That was my lowest point in my life. It was evening time. I went to Dumbo, Brooklyn. There is a spot with the city skyline view, and that day I had the camera in my hand, and I went to that spot, and I was just sitting by myself. Even if I close my eyes, I can feel that moment in my life. And that day I made a promise to myself to take pictures, to keep going, just not to never stop, just keep doing what I'm doing. Although I had no idea where my life is going to take, but I made a promise that I'm going to do something with this camera. I'm going to make a life out of this. During 2017, I decided to move away from my cousin's family. I moved to Queens. I was living with 5 other roommates. I wanted to save money on my rent. During my first 2 years in New York City, I was going to a community college, and after I was done with my community college, I did a year of OPT, which is optional practical training, meaning you have to work in your field of your studies. So I did an internship, and I also did a part-time job for 20 hours during my OPT. I was working Monday to Friday. Although looking back, I really wasn't really liking what I was doing, but I knew that I had to do this. There was no other option. But on the weekends, I was still going out and taking pictures. During that time, I was like, you know what, I took enough of landscape pictures. Let me do something different now. During 2017, I made a shift in my photography. I was focusing on portrait photography. During that time, there were some meetups happening in the city where models and photographers used to show up together, and it was more like an opportunity for both of them to build their portfolio. So I was going on those meetups every month, and I was observing how other photographers work with models and stuff like that. So that gave me a lot of confidence. It also gave me the option to build my portfolio. And during that year, I messaged so many models to work with me so that I can build my portfolio. But I felt like only 2 or 3 people out of 100, 200 people DMs replied back to me, because back then my work wasn't really that great. And I don't complain, you need to have a good portfolio if you want to work with people who are talented. But that was my time in 2017. That was when I really got more into fashion photography and stuff, and I realized I was enjoying being in that environment, and I loved taking portrait photography, so it was just like an amazing feeling. 2017 to 2020, I was doing my bachelor's, and during those 3 years, my goal was to complete my bachelor's degree, and I was still living in Queens with 5 other roommates, trying to keep my expenses very low. 2020, COVID happened. That was a turning point in my life. 3 months, everything was locked down, and during those 3 months, I made a promise that every week I'm gonna read 1 book. So I read like 12 books in 12 weeks, and a lot of things changed during those weeks. I started running because I felt like I needed to move my body. I started to meditate. I started journaling. A lot of small factors, but when I look back, all those small habits made me the person who am I today. After COVID started slowing down, I had the opportunity to move to the city in Manhattan. Got a good deal during that time because the rent in the city were really low. I moved in with 2 other roommates. Moving to the city in 2020 was really eye-opening to me. I always wanted to be in the environment which really challenges me and pushes me to grow. And I feel like environment, it's such a big factor where you want to go in life. It's the people, it's the environment you put yourself in. Very grateful that I found a great deal for the apartment. Although my room was like a shoebox, but I was really happy to get a place and live in the city. One thing I knew was that college wasn't really for me. I was really passionate about photography, but I did my bachelor's in computer information system. So looking back, I just had to pursue the college because I had to stay in the country, and in order to do that, I had to stay in college. But deep inside, I knew that I wasn't gonna do a 9 to 5. I wanted to be my own boss, and moving to New York made me realize that you really have to work hard, sacrifice a lot in order to really be at the top. During those years, I saw a lot of my friends who came as a F1 going back to their home country. Especially in New York City, everyone's so busy and focused with themselves. You really have to stay locked in. You really have to stay very focused to really reach your highest potential. 2021, I completed my bachelor's degree in computer information system, and I did a year of optional practical training, OPT, for another year where I had to work under my major, and I did that. And my parents, they wanted me to pursue my master's, although I really didn't want to do. So what I did was I applied to master's in photography to few schools, and 2022 I went through interview phase and I got rejected in most of them because they told me that I was coming from a information system background. The master's I was pursuing is photography, so it doesn't really correlate. Although I had a good portfolio of my work, but that was a big setback. But I'm so happy that I didn't get accepted in a way. I was doing my research about different visas. So I came across O1B visa, which is an artist visa. It tells you that you're really extraordinary at your field. So my field was photography. I happened to be working a lot of great brands, a lot of great individuals, great people, and I got a lawyer and I applied for my O1B last year, which was 2024, and I was approved. Of course, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice to get to where I'm today. At the end of the day, it's about the journey. I know I haven't really been back home, but I feel like it's a sacrifice I made for myself. I think everyone has their own story, everyone has their own journey, and you have to stick to that. You really have to go all in what you want to pursue in life. This is the first time I'm in my own place in the city. It's an amazing feeling to see how far I have come over the years, the growth, the challenges, the sacrifices I have made. It's not been an easy journey, but what I can say is that if you follow something with your passion, with your heart, you can go really far in life. I really wanted to make this video a long time ago, but I don't know, something just stopped me to wait for the perfect moment. And I look back, there's no such thing as perfect moment. I think whatever you want to do it, just start now. And I really want to make other meaningful videos where I can help share my story. There's so many things I wish I knew at my early times here in the US. Things would have been very easy, but everything what I've done here has been learned and done by me. I wish there was someone guiding me, but you know what, I'm very happy with all the hard work and the sacrifice I put in, because it has made me the person who am I today. So at the end of the day, you really have to believe in yourself, put in the work, and surround yourself with quality people. Make some good changes to your life in terms of working out, journaling, reading books. Small changes, but it's gonna pay off big times. It's been 11 years. I'm so grateful that I get to share this journey with you guys. It's not the first, this is the first of many. Plan to talk on my life, my journey. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.